Hey, hello and welcome everybody. As Hannah said, I'm Evelyn. Obviously, there's my name. Um, I've been a mindfulness and meditation facilitator for the last, I don't know, give or take 25 years in a lot of different capacities and iterations. Um, I'm an adult survivor of childhood trauma, and so that is what kind of led me into this journey and kind of traveling around the world doing the whole meditation on top of the mountains and in the temples of Egypt and all that kind of stuff. So my background is ancient mysteries, ancient wisdom, new thought. And what I found is a tremendous amount of healing through this particular avenue. And I don't say it's the end all be all, it's not like you take a pill, but the reason that I'm so excited to be here today is that on top of all the work that I've done in the past, I teach the community health worker course at the College of Southern Nevada, where I also concentrate on self-care. And I'm currently in the UNLV Urban Leadership Program, where I am working on a project of mindful leadership. So all that together, we thought it would be a good idea when we collaborated for this opportunity is to have a space truly where you could just have an experience. So yes, I have a PowerPoint. Yes, there are a lot of different techniques that I could share, and I will dive into those. But what I'm very interested in is a dialogue. And I'll go through more of that in a moment, but I see one more person is connecting. After that, we are going to get into just a quick centering guided meditation. Well, somebody else is connecting. Let's get into just a meditation. And what we'll do as people are connecting, and just so that everyone knows, what I get into a lot of conversations a lot about, and we'll do a little bit of the difference between mindfulness and meditation. And we'll talk about that. But what the greatest aspect of it that I think sometimes is overlooked is you can sit all day. I can sit all day in the proper posture. I can say the words. I can breathe. I can do anything at all that's rote. But if my heart's intention isn't in it, I can guarantee you there will not be any kind of a result, and more than likely the exact opposite result that you say that you want. So that is the spirit of today's discussion. It's kind of like, the letter of the law versus the spirit of the law. And so today we are getting into the spirit of things. So that being said, um, I tell my classes, if it, there are many to me benefits of the situation that we're in as a result of the pandemic. And one that I absolutely love is be comfortable. You're in your space. We have no idea what you're doing. So right now, as we get ready to do the introductory guided meditation, which will be very short, if take your shoes off, lay down, get in the best position for you, where you feel like you can just come to this moment, consciously relax, not to be confused with don't take a nap when this is nap time. This is, I am consciously now engaging in this moment of now. Not even 5 minutes ago, not 5 seconds ago, right here and right now. And so with that, if you are comfortable, if you have anything crossed, I do invite you to kind of open up. We're gonna take some deep, deep cleansing breaths together. There are plenty of names and labels and research on all this stuff. We're not gonna worry about that. Right now, just bring those shoulders up really tight, tense the hands really tight, tight, tight. And when you let go, just let it go. This is a physical and metaphorical letting go of whatever's going on inside. If you haven't, so many people that I'm encountering right now, if you haven't even stopped to take a conscious breath, but breathing shallow and holding all that stress and anxiety, we usually have a tendency to hold our breath. So again, take those deep breaths in, bring the back, clench the fists, the toes, everything really tight, and let it go. We're going to do that one more time. And this time when you do it, bring it in, bring it tight, those shoulder blades back, those fingers curled, fists, toes. And when you let it go, let go of everything. Allow the eyes to close. Continue to notice the breathing in and out at your own pace. And just slow down. If you have a lot of spinning thoughts, a lot to do, a lot on your plate, bring your full attention right here, right now. In this moment, I am safe. In this moment, there is nothing that can harm or hinder me. In this moment, I open my heart to infinite possibilities for my highest good. So just gently, we're going to sit in the silence for just a moment and just notice the thoughts. Am I willing to just gently watch them as an observer and gently let them just float away? There's a thought. Allow it to float away like a cloud. All that matters right now is this present moment. And just gently notice where your attention is. Each time something comes up, just gently bring it back to the center. And if it's useful, use your head. If I watch my thoughts with my head moving, gently bring my head back to center. Continue to breathe deeper. So take a couple more deep breaths in. And silently within ourselves, we just think of one thing to be grateful for. And we really lean on the gratitude as we get ready to move forward into a next moment of now. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. I have access to the entire universe. Breathe in deeply. Again, wiggle those toes. Notice your body on the chair. Wiggle the fingers. Moving your neck side to side. And just imagining that there is a bright golden light from the center of the universe down through the head, down through the body, down through the bottom of your chair, down through the wherever building you're in, and anchoring you to the center of the earth. All is well. Breathe in deeply, and this time, when you exhale, gently allow the eyes to open. And welcome. And when you're ready, you could turn your cameras on. Everybody left. Welcome back. I'm just going to say briefly, and by now it's become so well known that there's a lot of, put my thing here, there's a lot of science about meditation and mindfulness. Both of them. I'm particularly studying mindfulness. I'm kind of doing a reverse engineering. I've lived it and now I'm going back and researching it. But there's a lot of stuff that happens with stress, right? And so there's a fight or flight response, a reaction that isn't a response. And this is not the good one that helps keep us out of danger, that's kind of, programmed in our DNA. It can shut down our immune system. So as we're thinking about the COVID situation, am I keeping myself so stressed that I am now compromising my immune system in a time that would really not be a good time to do that? It can increase blood pressure. It can turn up the volume on blood pressure. It can tense muscles. And then there are a myriad of other other negative occurrences in the physical body, and as we all know, the mental body and other areas. So stress, while it can serve as something good, that's not the kind of stress that we're addressing. And again, I didn't want to take today to talk about, there are tons of research out about mindfulness and decreasing all of that. Today specifically, I want to address that it is such a powerful tool to alleviate the stress in everyday situations like what we've already discussed, you and Ava. So we've kind of done this already, but birth certificate, I'm white. I have several birth certificates, by the way. I was adopted by a white mother and Black father. So this current situation going on, unbelievable in 2020, really harkens to a lot of the stuff I went through in my life. The reason what Hannah said reminds me of this is because I grew up with a white mother it was a very volatile environment, but using all of like the N word against my father and myself when she would get pissed off. And going through the journey of trying to discover who I was and what race I was and all of that. So I'm not going to go into a lot of that today, but what I will say is there will be people in our lives we cannot change. Bad as we want them to see our view. Now, what do I do? What can my mindful practice be with that? So what I'm going to do is go on to Ho'opono because it's really a powerful, powerful practice. Ho'oponopono is pronounced, it's a mantra. And it will sound a little weird if you haven't done any, like a lot of forgiveness work or any of that. Don't let that kind of word like throw you. But it is a powerful thing to do inside of those moments when you feel like you are completely powerless. When I feel like I can't change my mother's mind, or when I feel like there's somebody being really, I'm going to use the word unkind because I'm being professional here, but you guys know what I mean. This is great in those dark moments when they're hopeless. And the reason is that it is a mantra that directly helps me calm myself, not even be concerned with the other person. And this has been researched and tested. This is very powerful because what there's a lot behind the research that Dr. Lin did. The idea is that the minute a disturbance comes up, and the actual mantra is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. This one I like because it just shows whatever it is that comes up, thank you, I love you. It's shortened, and I'm not sure if Hewlin over the many years that he's taken this practice, and then everybody around the world, they just shortened it. But even if I did thank you, I love you, this is a great one to do inside. So somebody's standing here carrying on, blah, 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 but inside, thank you, I love you. Blah, 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 thank you, I love you. No one knows what's going on. And I see Francis nodding. The reason it's so powerful is literally, it seems like something that is absolutely impossible when it's done. And I say all this, you can't really see it, but from the heart, when it's really practiced from the heart. And to me, mindfulness practice is a heart practice. You can start seeing amazing things change. You know, I had to learn the hard way that I couldn't change anybody, but it brings an inner calm, and that's what mantras are meant to do anyway. And the reason I said initially start with your heart, there is a level of intention and sincerity. And then even if you don't, when you keep repeating it and repeating it, even without it, but I find it to be very powerful when I'm really intentional with it. Don't be surprised if you get a call from the person. I see Francis is kind of nodding, right? So I'm going to ask her to share in a second. Don't be surprised if you see a total change of behavior. I'm not guaranteeing that it does, but what it helps you do, and what the Dr. Lynn's purpose in sharing this with everyone is that it literally does shift the energies. So a lot of stuff happens scientifically. So for you guys that may get hooked on the word like forgiveness, which I'm only projecting because I used to hate that word many years ago, decades ago. It's like, I'm not trying to hear about forgiveness. I'm not trying to hear any of these words. But if you can get past those, the I'm sorry has nothing to do with apologizing to or for somebody else's behavior. Oh, you can't see my hand again. Forgot I'm not in person. I talk a lot with my hands. I apologize. It has everything to do with clearing the disturbance out of my energy field, so to speak. I'm cleaning. That's literally, if you go look at Dr. Lynn's videos, he will say that's all he's doing. He's cleaning. He's cleansing the energy of his own space. And that then impacts my experience in the world. Visioning is different than visualizing. So, visioning takes, I guess for lack of a better word, I will say it's the next evolutionary step after visualizing. So in visualizing, and a lot of times people do vision boards and they'll put pictures of things on a board that they want to experience, right? I want a new house, I want a new car, I want a whatever it may be. Visioning could be looked at as is tapping into my inner guidance so that a different unmanifested vision is possible. It's beyond even my imagination. And there is the discovery. So the way that it works, and we're going to take about 5 minutes here and then have a brief discussion. Visioning, of course, is another mindful tool. So we do it in silence. And what's very exciting about it, when you can really surrender to the process, it is amazing what comes out of it. So to David's point, I was an athlete and I get that sweet spot and you see yourself winning, or I see myself here, or the other great one, relationships, right? Or you know, when I and a bunch of other people, when we were single, oh, my list of what I want my mate to be, or on and on, all these things that we want. One of the interesting things, though, about wanting, the way it registers in the universe, so to speak, is that it then becomes a perpetual want. And then I end up wanting and wanting and wanting. With visualizing, I end up to David's point, the universe is very powerful. So the first time I learned visioning was in the mid 90s. I can want a Mercedes, say, or some luxury, something. Well, we use a Mercedes for the example. And I visualize it and I put it on my board, and based on the law of attraction, which is some of you may or may not have heard of, I manifest my Mercedes. But now I've spent so much time just focusing on that, I lost my job, or something else happened. But here I have this Mercedes, and I have, depending on what kind of Mercedes you have, a hefty car note. I have insurance. Now maybe, what do I do? Do I visualize for insurance? Do I visualize for... So some of the pitfalls maybe of just visualizing is it's limited to my imagination. Visioning is tapping into the infinite possibilities, literally. So we're gonna do a quick example of it. And if everybody, I think most of you guys look like you have access to a pen. If you do, great. If not, just for this exercise, don't worry about it. And what we're gonna do is turn within. When we say turn within, we're just literally turning our attention out from exterior into the interior. Taking a couple deep breaths. And again, bringing our full awareness to this moment of now. And not just center down. And so in a visioning process, I'm going to use David as our example. We're going to use the world. What's going on in the world with the civil unrest, with the pandemic, with any experiences of anything less than harmony and love and compassion. We bring that into our awareness now. Take a deep breath. And we just invite into the space. Take a deep breath in and inhale, balance, love, joy, harmony, healing, whatever adjective. Take a couple of more deep breaths in and exhaling. And now just rest in the space. By rest, I mean relax. Allow the mind just for a moment to stop efforting, to stop thinking, to stop solving. Just be present. And from this place, without thinking or efforting, I see the world as. I see the world as. And quickly, when you're ready, this is how I want to see the world, not as it is now, but I see the world as. And just write down whatever comes up for you. No thinking. And then when you write down whatever adjective you came up with, continue to breathe in that sense of peace, balance, empathy, and harmony, and breathe into that. And sit for a moment. And just in order for that world to exist, people would need to release what? People need to release what? And don't think, just write down what they need to release, just the adjective. And breathing in deeply and staying in that state of love and joy and safety In order for the world to be this vision of whatever your adjective was, I need to release what? I release what? And continuing to breathe and resting in this state of absolute love and infinite possibility. In order for this world to be whatever your adjective was, I embrace what? No thinking, just write the first thing that comes to mind. And breathe in, staying in the state of love and calm, and joy and harmony. Seeing the vision of the world as whatever your adjective was. I am grateful for. I am grateful for. No thinking or efforting, just the first thing that comes to mind. And just take a couple deep breaths in and out at your own pace. And just gently, when you're ready, allow the eyes to open. Notice yourself back in the room. And if anybody has anything to share.
Are we sharing what we wrote down?
Yes, please.
My first word is empathetic. I believe in the power of being empathetic to people instead of sympathetic. Empathetic is sitting with a person in pain. And in order for the world to get here, I think we have to release selfishness. And then what I need to release is also selfishness. And I see a world of life. I was going to write woman and mankind, but then I realized I have this deep passion for all life, nature and mankind. So I wanted to put down life because humans are not the only creatures on this planet. And I think everything has its place. Everything has its energy and its importance. And it has its importance. And then the last word that I wrote was resilience. Life is resilient. We are resilient. And it's powerful. And that's what I wrote.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Francis. So what that is envisioning, and thank you again, Francis, for sharing. That was a really quick snippet experience of what visioning is. So the exciting thing about visioning is I can apply it to any circumstance or situation. I can apply it to stuff in the workplace or stuff in my daily life or whatever. So we used a very broad one. There are again a lot of research and stuff about seeing something, and I'm trying to make the distinction very clear about visioning and visualization. The visualization will come most likely from ego. It will come from a place of something I'm already familiar with. The idea of visioning, when you can really take the time with it, is it allows something to be revealed that I may not have even considered.